Let's dive into user stories. These are simple descriptions of features from the perspective of the person who desires the capability. User stories focus on user value, encourage collaboration, and enable iterative development. We use them because they are centered around what the user needs and wants, which helps guide the development process effectively. User stories typically follow a standard format. It's structured as a type of user, I want an action or feature, so that benefit or value. For example, as a social media user, I want to upload multiple photos at once, so that I can save time when sharing my vacation albums. To ensure your user stories are high quality, remember the INVEST criteria. This is a checklist that ensures each story is independent, meaning it should be self-contained and not dependent on other stories. Negotiable, meaning the details should be co-created by the team and stakeholders. Valuable, meaning it must deliver value to the stakeholders. Estimable, meaning the team must be able to estimate the size of the story. Small, meaning it should be small enough to be completed in a single iteration. Finally, testable, meaning it must be written with clear acceptance criteria that can be verified. Let's talk about user story sizing. You will come across different story hierarchies like epics, which is a large body of work that can be broken down. Features, which represent a distinct piece of functionality. User story, which is a small independent piece of functionality. And task, which is a technical work item needed to complete a user story. For sizing best practices, use relative sizing, split stories that are too large, consider complexity, group similar size stories and size stories collaboratively. Acceptance criteria defines what done means for a user story. These are the conditions that a user story must satisfy to be accepted by the product owner or stakeholders. Common formats include the given when then format, such as, given I am logged into my account, when I click the upload button, then I should see a file selection dialog. Another format is the checklist format, for example, user can select multiple files at once, or error message appears for files greater than 10 megabytes. When writing acceptance criteria, be specific and measurable, focus on business outcomes, include both happy path and edge cases, write from the user's perspective, and keep the criteria independent and testable. Avoid vague terms, technical implementation details, overly complex criteria, duplicated requirements, and contradictory criteria. For example, a poor criterion would be, the system should be fast. A good criterion would be, search results appear within 2 seconds. Here's a complete user story example for a password reset feature. The user story is, as a registered user, I want to reset my password when I forget it, so that I can regain access to my account without contacting support. The acceptance criteria include, user can request a password reset from the login screen. System sends a reset link to the user's registered email. Reset link expires after 24 hours. New password must meet security requirements. And user receives confirmation after successful password reset. Further details would include, priority is high, story points is 5, epic is user authentication, and sprint is sprint 3. A collaborative story creation process involves a workshop. The discovery phase includes identifying stakeholders, defining user personas, mapping user journeys, and brainstorming features. The story creation phase includes drafting user stories, reviewing and refining stories, defining acceptance criteria, and prioritizing stories. Remember to keep the workshop short, use voting to prioritize ideas, and prepare templates to guide participants. Also, include diverse perspectives, use the 3 amigos approach, and document decisions after the workshop. There are common pitfalls to watch out for. One is being too technical, focusing on implementation details rather than user value. Another is being too vague, lacking specificity and clear boundaries. Another is being too large, using an epic disguised as a story which is too big to complete in a single sprint. Also, missing acceptance criteria, which leads to misunderstandings. For a technical story, focus on the user's perspective. For a vague story, be specific about what the user wants. For a large story, break it down into smaller stories. Always include testable acceptance criteria. Here are some user story best practices. Emphasize collaborative creation with a diverse team. Keep user-centered by writing stories from the user's perspective. Make sure stories are right-sized so they can be completed in a single sprint. Always include clear acceptance criteria and regularly refine stories before a sprint. Prioritize stories based on value and impact. Here are some additional resources which include the book User Story Mapping by Jeff Patton, the website Mountain Goat Software for User Stories, and Jira for User Story Templates. Thank you. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.